Now in the last video I showed you how to add a prefab headcrab here that drops out of a vent. Now suppose you're like me and you prefer armored headcrabs. So you want to use the same animation set, the same prefab actions, but you don't want it to be a regular headcrab. You want to change that out for an armored headcrab. So luckily it's not too hard to make modifications to these, and sometimes you can tweak it a bit to suit your map. So in this case, it's down here in the prefabs, there's a used in map. So I can see I'm using the Headcrab classic vent spawn. I can open that up into a separate window. Now I can't modify this because it's in a read-only place, but I can save a copy of it. So I'm going to save this as Headcrab classic vent pre-spawn. I'm going to put it in my maps directory. Actually, I'm going to be a little more clever. I'm going to put it under prefabs here because I have a list of prefabs that I've been messing around with already. So let's save it there. All right, now that I've saved it in my directory, here I can start making slight modifications to it. And what I'd like to do is change this headcrab into an armored headcrab. Sometimes if you change this class into a very similar NPC class, all these properties will just translate over. So I want this to be an NPC armored headcrab. Now if you take a look, everything pretty much stayed the same. It's kept the same name. It kept the same NPC properties because headcrabs, all the headcrabs are very similar. Spawn as temp ragdoll set, that's what makes it fall. And here we have fall to ground unchecked. So if it's unchecked, it would teleport, but it's just going to fall to ground. And there you go. So basically what I've done is I've modified this into an armored headcrab. Now I can save this and actually build it. So build map. It's going to build Headcrab classic event spawn, but it's going to build it in my own personal directory. Now I'm not going to show anything because there's nowhere for the player to spawn, so that's fine. Exit out here, we'll go back to my test map. Now I don't want to use this prefab anymore, so I'm going to take this prefab out because that's the original one, and instead I'm going to go prefabs, import prefab, and I'm going to find where I saved the modified one. So here, there it is. Now when I import it, I actually put it way over here, which is kind of weird. Let me just grab this guy out and move him. Okay, so now this is my modified prefab. Now recall from last video, when I walk into this space, it is going to trigger this output, which is going to spawn vent headcrab. So it should get this headcrab, even though it's a different one than it was before, to fall out of the vent. So my modified headcrab should work. There we go, there's the vent. I'll walk through the trigger, and it's an armored headcrab instead of the usual headcrab. So that's how you can make slight modifications to existing prefabs so that you can customize how it looks in your map. Thanks for watching. In the next video, I'm going to take a look at some Metro Police prefabs, which are quite a bit more complicated than these simple headcrab ones.